This is Smart Contract by Johnny Järlehag. So, a traditional contract requires two parties to sign an agreement to get into a contract. They need to use a third party who they need to trust to execute the contract. A smart contract removes the dependency of a third party and automates the execution of the smart contract on its own. But why smart contract? So let's compare traditional contract with a smart contract. Third party. A third party that we need to put our faith and trust in is not needed in a smart contract. The smart contract executes its own functionality and is not dependent on manual execution. Execution time. A traditional contract takes days to execute since it has to go through so many middlemen. A smart contract does not require any middlemen. It is programmable on your computer and already know its conditions the moment you activate it. Remittance. If any kind of remittance has to happen, for example, if you rent out a house in the metaverse, a traditional contract requires the other party to manually pay the rent every month, which can lead to complications and delays. A smart contract has an automatic process where the rent will be automatically drawn from the other party and paid during the duration of the smart contract. Transparency. Transparency is not always available in traditional contracts. The transparency is for the different parties and entities involved in creating the contract and what they decide to show for the public. A smart contract always have 100% transparency available at all times, which can be reviewed online and validated through transactions made through the smart contract. Archiving. Archiving is very difficult in traditional contract since most transactions are paper-based. The records are saved offline and manually handled by people. In a smart contract, this becomes easy since all transactions have happened through the smart contract and gives a 100% traceability with timestamps. The log is also automatically generated and stored online. Security. Security is a concern in traditional contracts, since many of the aspects are manually handled and can easily be compromised. In a smart contract, the security is maintained by a cryptograph, which means the information is secured with an algorithm key that encrypts the data so that no one can alter the information. Cost. Traditional contracts are pretty expensive. The prices are high compared to smart contracts because there are middlemen involved. Smart contracts are cheaper because there are no intermediaries involved. Only the charge of transaction on the blockchain hosting the smart contract will be required. Signature. In a traditional contract, it's a manual process. All the transactions are signed manually and verified manually. In a smart contract, all transactions are digitally signed with a private key held by the entities involved in the contract. But what is a smart contract? Let's compare a smart contract with retrieving money from an ATM machine. You insert your credit card, input a few numbers, and the ATM automatically starts working. It knows the exact amount of money that you want. The hatch opens and you get your money. It is all automated and programmed to assist you. While going into the bank to retrieve money requires you to interact with a person that will manually withdraw the money and then transfer them to you. A smart contract eliminates the needs of intermediaries and escrow services. Voting. Voting have always been a crucial part of society. It's our freedom to elect leaders in government parties. Nowadays, most voting is done at a local room with paper ballots and are often the victim of malpractices such as moving votes from one party to another or miscounting the votes. With the introduction of blockchain technology and smart contracts, all future votes will be done digitally. The votes will go through a smart contract, and the transaction will be registered on the blockchain and eliminate malpractices. Once the information is on the blockchain, it can't be altered. Smart contracts will be used on a daily basis with Web 3.0. Are you acquiring knowledge and preparing yourself for the upcoming blockchain-based technology and changes that comes with Web 3.0? Are you prepared?